Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. A prominent tourism leader has issued a warning ahead of a crucial vote on a controversial Kangaroo Bay Hotel development. There's concern it will be a missed opportunity to boost visitation numbers on Hobart's eastern shore if the project is slapped down.
An eyesore on the eastern shore, this prime land prepared for infrastructure sits dormant.
And it's fair to say this part of Hobart, despite how incredibly beautiful it is, has been not on the map for a long time as a visitor destination, and this is the type of project that can do it. If it doesn't happen though, the reality is it's going to be 5-10 years of missed opportunity.
While the tourism sector is buoyed by the prospect of the Kangaroo Bay Hotel development and its ability to draw holidaymakers beyond the CBD.
It takes something pretty special to do it. There's one out of Berridale called Mona, and potentially this is the kind of thing that can do the same thing for the Eastern Shore. Shambroid
is set to face its biggest hurdle yet when Clarence councillors decide tomorrow night whether or not to halt the project.
We've changed 10 major areas of the hotel that were identified through consultation.
A land buyback option is on the cards that's already garnered strong community support, meaning local leaders have a big debate ahead of them.
Tomorrow night, I'm confident that the matter will be settled, so I look forward to the debate.
The developers faced recent backlash over a lack of commitment to include Tasmania's Aboriginal community in the revised designs.
It was clear that the material we had was pre-consultation, and we are absolutely committed that if we get an answer tomorrow night, that we will start that consultation process.
It's now been over 6 years since the proposal was first brought to the table, but developers are confident if they get the green light, they can complete the build in around 18 to 24 months. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
And the relationship between Clarence Council and the state government could soon sink to new lows. Alderman Tony Mulder is set to table a vote of no confidence in Planning Minister Michael Ferguson at tomorrow night's meeting. The minister has been under fire from the council for intervening in the Skylands development at Dorothy Point. Mr Ferguson, however, is being backed by fellow cabinet ministers.
The minister's quite within his rights, within the legislation and his powers to make the decision that he's potentially going to make.
In a statement, the Planning Minister says he won't shy away from releasing more land for housing. Meanwhile, our state government is set to table a bill this week to make the display of Nazi symbols illegal in Tasmania. While the legislation doesn't include banning the salute, it's not being ruled out for the future.
I'm sure it's certainly something that the Attorney-General will consider in the future if she's approached by stakeholders who want to have a discussion about that particular issue as well.
There is no place in Tasmania for the kind of hatred and division that we've seen play out in other states over the last few days in particular.
Our politicians will return to Parliament on Tuesday. Harmony Week celebrations are kicking off across the state in a bid to break down barriers of race and religion. Bicycles also sharing the spotlight in the north with events promoting inclusivity.
The sounds of the world filling the heart of Launceston. Fun, fitness and food, the community coming together for a day of vibrant celebrations. Harmony Week kicking off with plenty on offer for all.
Just a slice of every part of the world. We've got Middle Eastern sweets and treats. We've got Korean kombucha.
Bringing different cultures together, recognising what the annual event means to them.
I feel so proud to be representing Nepal in here in Loni.
Stepping in style to the beat of their own origins. The day all about moving forward as one, promoting inclusivity and belonging.
Bridging some of the gaps that we might feel exist between our communities, when in reality everyone does want to live harmoniously amongst each other.
Their festivity is also stretching out beyond Civic Square. Pedal-powered speakers marking the inaugural Bike Fest, shutting down city streets, setting in motion this year's theme, Everyone Belongs.
And we really believe that's a strong message for our multicultural, our food, our local disability organisations, but in particular with Bike Fest, how bicycles are really introduced into the city and this great idea that everyone belongs in the city no matter how they move around.
A sea of colour spinning into the day, cartwheeling into another year. Harmony celebrations like this will spread across the state this week, recognising Tasmania's rich cultural diversity. Standing together for a time to reflect and move towards harmony. Victoria Eastoe, 7 Tasmania News.
The taste of Tasmanian produce is on show once again at the annual Garlic and Tomato Festival. Thousands of future growers headed to a family-owned farm in Selborne to learn about the art of harvesting.
The perfect pairing for the ultimate food festival.
It's just a great family day out. And you can see we're probably more spaced out than Neil Armstrong out here, so it's a great way to be, along with a couple of other thousand people.
Proving from small things, big things grow, with the Garlic and Tomato Festival harvesting its 9th annual event, showcasing Tassie's best produce across 45 stalls.
It's a family day event on a working farm where we just love to invite people to come and experience fresh, really good, fresh local food and see where it comes from.
Begging the question, why are these 2 ingredients the pick of the crop?
Tomatoes taste phenomenal, and garlic, well, we are coming up to vampire season. You probably know it as tax time, but for the rest of us, everybody loves it.
They say don't play with your food, but today was an exception, with children taking part in tomato and spoon races.
3, 2, 1, go!
The event not just tickling the taste buds of patrons, but putting them to the test, with some spraying their way to success in the tomato eating competition.
Don't laugh, whatever you do.
It's serious business here at the garlic eating competition, and it's not for the faint of heart. But the question is whether to bite or garlic.
I actually had a very good method.
What was your method?
Put it and then swallow with water.
Also featuring talks from experts in their field.
The theme of this year's festival is grow local, eat local. So we're showing people this year what they can do even in a cool climate like ours.
The perfect place to learn about the patch. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
TAS Wine Fest organisers are popping champagne corks in celebration after what they say was another successful event. Hundreds gathered this afternoon in the Botanical Gardens to savour a sip of some of the state's best vintages. After 2 years of COVID-related restrictions, organisers say patrons have voted with their feet.
Such a great event this year, with both Saturday sessions selling out, blessed weather and just a fantastic event all around.
This year I would say maybe 70% of the people are just visiting just for this particular event, and that's why I believe it's really important to showcase what Tasmania can offer.
The event receiving $400,000 worth of state government support over the next 5 years. Tasmania's baseball community was split in half this morning as the best of the best lined up for the North v South clash. Bragging Whites went to the hitters from Hobart in a match that dates back to before World War I.
Lining up to take a swing for their city. Friendships put to one side as Hobart and Launceston's best squared off on the plate.
If you're not in the grand final or you don't even play any sort of final, you're actually getting a chance to be an all-star.
Getting better all the time as more people get involved. Look, we're just here to play baseball and play the game that we love and have a really good time.
The Prince of Wales Bay Diamond, the field of dreams for this year's North-South clash. Baseball's big day has a history stretching back to before World War I.
This game is now in its 114th year. We found the earliest photos of 1909 North v South teams.
It was a day to forget for Northern Tasmania, however, with South storming out of the blocks.
There is it, he's stepped back and unusual, he's under the ball, yeah, he's got that.
South 14-0 up in just the first inning, all but ending the game. North finding some spark and a few runs, but it was too late. The home side with a thumping 17-2 victory.
First at bat, ball went 1 metre in front and we didn't make the out, and sometimes we just set the tone from there.
So we're comfortably taking that off them at the moment.
Looking ahead, organisers are confident if they build it, players will come.
Already looking forward to the next one to battle it away and make sure that this becomes, part of the rich tradition of Baseball Tasmania.
Meanwhile, the A's are the champions of the Southern Series, holding off Green 3 runs to 2. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
In the TNL, Cripps Waratah, the Northern Hawks, Karana and Devon all scored wins in round 2 this afternoon. The Northwest side started strongly against Arrows with an 18-4 first quarter, blowing the game wide open. Despite their best efforts, Arrows were unable to recover as the margin grew across the rest of the match. Sophie Broadhurst was in fine form for the victors, scoring 37 goals from 50 attempts. Devon rebounding from yesterday's loss, 80-25. While in local soccer, Glenorchy Knights have started the new season with a 2-0 win over Launceston United. The Knights opening the scoring in the 33rd minute through Lucas Delakoski. He doubled the lead in the second half in equally spectacular fashion. In the Women's Super League, Launceston United were too strong for Taroona, thrashing the home side 5-0. Devonport came from behind to defeat Clarence 2-1, while a late goal gave South Hobart a win over Kingborough.
Good evening. 23 the top for Launceston today. Hobart and Devonport both 21-22 in Burnie. 21 for Ouse, Lowhead and Grove both 20. 19 the top for Flinders Island, St Helens and Maria Island. Strawn 17, Friendly Beaches 16. Mostly cloudy over the northeast and the west today. Clear sky extending from Hobart to the northwest throughout the day. Patchy low-level cloud over the state and along the south and east coast of the country. A band of mid to high level cloud extending from northern WA down to Victoria. Tomorrow, a high will approach Tasmania from the west, slowly moving over the state later in the day, and troughs over Victoria and New South Wales. South to southeasterly winds of 15 to 25 knots, reaching up to 30 knots about the east in the morning. And there's a strong wind warning from the central north coast around to the southwest coast. Cloudy across the south tomorrow, Hobart 17, 16 for Dover, Ouse 18. Launceston and Scottsdale both a top of 20, sunny and 19 in Devonport. Burnie 18 and sunny, cloudy for Strawn, Stanley mostly sunny. St Helens and Swansea both 18, a partly cloudy 17 for Swansea. Tomorrow's UV will remain at high 6s and the sun will set at 7:26 p.m. Possible morning fog and frost about the inland areas on Tuesday, then fine before showers develop for the north coast and Bass Strait Islands in the afternoon and evening. Wednesday, showers about the northeast and some possible showers for the remaining areas of the north and the east. Partly cloudy on Thursday with a chance of showers in the east and the south. Across the country tomorrow, Adelaide and Melbourne both partly cloudy, Sydney 26 and a shower or two, 32 in Brisbane, sunny for Perth, and Alice Springs 35 the top for Broome. Right now in Hobart it's 16, Launceston 20 and mostly sunny, Devonport 18 and Lou. That wraps up the weekend in weather.
Wonderful, thank you for that, Vic. And that's all your news for this Sunday. Thank you for joining us this weekend. Kim will be with you tomorrow. Good night.